Man, what's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, the big homie himself. But what do I know? Boxing back at you with my post-fight reaction to Maurice Hooker versus Blair Cobbs. Congratulations. They haven't even announced the winner, but congratulations to Blair Cobb on a comeback fight against Maurice Hooker. But let me just say this right here, bro. Maurice Hooker, Blair, neither fighter looked amazing. But neither fighter should ever try to go for the big dogs at the top of the division. But let me before I get into to Blair, let me get into Maurice, bro. Maurice made several mistakes in the beginning of the rounds, man. The first thing I noted in the beginning of the fight, man, Maurice looked hella sluggish and lethargic, man. He was standing, first and foremost, he was standing straight up. He was standing straight up and down, like he didn't have any type of, he didn't bend his legs any, bro. He was standing straight up, which caused him to also keep his chin up and be squaring right there for the overhand lefts. And they're even showing the replays right now as I'm speaking. When you stand straight up, you're not able to absorb the punches as good as you would when you have your legs bent to have your legs behind you. He didn't have his legs behind you. He was standing straight up and basically just squared up. And so when Blair Cobbs, like, with his chin right in the air, so Blair Cobbs was just moving around constantly and just will basically walk him into an overhand left or a straight left. And I'm just sitting here screaming at the TV like, bro, Maurice, like, first and foremost, and I would say normally what you do is when you have a fighter moving, to cut the distance, you want to jab, you want to double jab. The first jab is to cut the distance and have the second jab is to actually make the effect. But Maurice Hooker's jab was so damn lazy. It was just like, bro, why? Like, I didn't even want him to double jab because Blair was timing him so easily. And it was just so frustrating watching Maurice Hooker just his legs straight up and down. Nope, not really bending his legs. Lazy jab, just lazy punches. It just was ridiculous. He finally came alive later in the fourth round, but at the end of the second round, it was weird. After Maurice Hooker, like at the end of the round, Maurice Hooker just stared up at like this. Like, I don't know what the hell he was standing. He was just looking at for a long time. They had to get his attention to come on the end, come to the corner. This is just, oh my goodness. That's oh my goodness, man. Blair, you know, I'm sorry, man, I was listening so as y'all can hear, but anyways, man, so no head movement by Maurice Hooker, just right there to be hit, following Blair. Then when he would cut off the ring, he was still not letting his hands go, but it was almost like, damn if he do, damn if he don't, because when he let his hands go, he was so lazy with it. He was pulling his hands back so lazy. That's why Maurice Hooker, that's why Blair Cobbs was able to time him and come up top and count him. Even when Maurice Hooker would land a shot, his head was just right there, chin was right there. He would not get his hands back to his face. And Blair would just be able to counter him. Even after Blair would take a shot, he would be able to counter him. Maurice Hooker just walking straight into traps. You know, just walking straight into traps, not going to the body, which I kind of understand why he wouldn't. The way Maurice Hooker was fighting, I would advise him not to go to the body because he was so lazy and because he was standing straight up and like he was not bending his legs the way he should have. If he would have gone to the body, he would have been subjected to get countered up top and he would have been dropped again by the overhand left. So the way he was fighting, normally when you have a fighter that moves around, you want to go to the body. But the way Maurice Hooker was fighting, if I'm Bomac or Terrence Crawford, who was in his corner, I'm telling Maurice Hooker, do not go to the body because you're leaving yourself open for counter to be countered up top every time you throw a punch. And you're so lazy when you throw your punch. You're not bringing your hands back. You're so lazy. We call that taking pictures in boxing. You sitting there taking all these pictures. Blair the Flair coming out to Stone Cold Steve Austin doing this WWE stuff, but you sitting here taking pictures and getting countered like with the left hand, man. Blair, you know, was overcommitting to his punches a lot. Blair does not need to mention Crawford or to spin. He doesn't need to mention none of the top fighters. He's overcommitted with his punches, very wide with his punches. He gets stopped by any B-level fighter. But Blair was overcommitting, leaving himself open. I mean, there's one point he was rushing in with the left hand. Like, man, I was just so disappointed in Maurice Hooker. I was so disappointed in the performance by Maurice Hooker, bro. Blair, like, again, neither fighter looked convincing in my eyes. Blair Cobbs could have done better setting his punches up, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He was relying so much on Maurice Hooker's mistake because Maurice Hooker was so lethargic and lazy coming in. Blair would just circle around and then boom, catch him with the left hand. Circle around, boom, catch him with the left hand. At one point, I think it was like the 6th round or 7th round, like Blair, it might have been the 5th, 6th, or 7th, one of them rounds, Blair like threw like a 9-piece combination on Maurice Hooker. Maurice Hooker, you know, hold on. Oh man, I hate talking about that call. They bringing up Call Frost versus Jermaine Taylor. I hated that fight. But anyways, I hate that. That threw me off. I hate that fight, man. Anyways, bottom line, bro. Listen, Blair Cobbs needs to work on. He definitely needs to work on shortening up his punches, because his punches are very wide. He definitely he used his movement in an effective way. Like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?